Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night set?
Yeah, sure. If
Could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
This is my video update on this Wednesday afternoon, July the 9th, coming to you from Moscow. Let's talk about some news. And we are going to start things off with that bizarre press conference in the White House with Trump and Pam Bondi, where the subject of the client list and Epstein was brought up. And boy, was that a bad look for Bondi and for Trump. Trump should not have said anything, but he had to chime in. And what he said was not good. It was not good. Are we still talking about that guy, Epstein? Yeah, we're still talking about that guy, Epstein, President Trump. Man, what is wrong with Trump? He just should have stayed quiet, man. He should have stayed quiet. But he had to open his mouth. And boy, did he make things a whole lot worse. Bondi did not make things any better. Dobry kola. Awesome. All right. Bondi did not make things any better by giving some ridiculous explanation about what she said a couple of months ago with the client list is on my desk, and then the announcement that there is no client list, and she tried to explain it away by saying that I meant it was a folder of all kinds of documents, and I was going to review a folder, so I didn't know what was in that folder, and it was just a big folder, and now we looked at the folder, there's no client list anyway. She didn't exactly say that, but that was pretty much her excuse. It was just one big folder, that's what I was talking about, not a specific client list. They made everything a whole lot worse. People are not buying it either. No one is buying the excuse from Bondi. No one is buying Trump's theatrics, saying, "Are you still talking about that guy? Really? I can't believe you're still talking about that guy." Robert J. O'Neill says, "Are we still talking about that Epstein guy?" "Yes, Mr. President. We'd like to know about that Epstein guy." Roseanne Barr said, "Mr. President, yes, we still care about Epstein." Read the damn room. That is what Roseanne Barr said. Read the damn room, exactly. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene said, "What about her little black book?" The 97-page book contains the names and contact details of almost 2,000 people, including world leaders, celebrities, and businessmen. No one believes there is not a client list. And she included a screenshot on this X post of Ghislaine and Epstein. And why is Ghislaine even in prison? Why has she been charged with anything if there's no client list? So they made everything a whole lot worse. I mean, they made everything a whole lot worse with that display yesterday in the White House. This thing is not going away. It's not going away. And if I were advising Trump, I would tell the president, you know what? You've got to address this now. Perhaps you got to fire Bondi. I don't know. Someone might have to take the fall. And you're going to have to explain what is going on with the client list and Epstein. I don't think there's much choice than the president of the United States now having to comment on this. Anyway, Musk is all over this. He's not letting this go. He posted on X, Bannon is in the Epstein files. Oh boy, that's what he posted. He also posted a whole bunch of memes. They arrested and killed Peanut, but they have not even tried to file charges against anyone on the Epstein client list. Government is deeply broken. More squirrels and raccoons have been arrested than anyone on Epstein's client list. He's referencing the peanut squirrel incident. We all remember that, right? So Musk, who is creating his own political party, is doing what politicians do, and he is sticking it to President Trump, because Musk is now going to be in the opposition. Boy, was this Epstein thing, this no client list thing, a gift to Elon Musk. You know who's quiet so far about all of this? The Democrats. Isn't that odd? Isn't that strange? You would think that the Democrats would be jumping all over this, given that they're the big main opposition party, and this is Trump getting completely pummeled by this. I think you could call it a scandal. Let's call it an Epstein client list scandal. Cover up. A cover up is probably a better word. But the Democrats are staying very quiet, huh? I wonder why that is. I think we all know why that is anyway. So what have the FBI and the DOJ, what have they decided to do in order to try and calm things down, try to distract away from this mess? Well, what they have done is that they have announced or leaked to Fox News that they're going to be launching criminal investigations of John Brennan and James Comey, for which Alex Jones posted on X, "I hope this is real and not a distraction from the Epstein case cover-up firestorm." This is a distraction. This is a pretty pathetic and sad attempt at a distraction from the client list firestorm. I have an idea. I have a really good idea for the FBI and the DOJ. Why don't you do both? Why don't you publish the client list, or explain the fact that there is no client list, and explain it very slowly and in a way that we can all understand. So why don't you do that, and why don't you investigate for real investigate Comey and Brennan and Clapper and everything that happened in Russiagate. Maybe try to find Professor Mifsud. That would be interesting, to locate the Maltese professor, if he even exists, which he doesn't exist. People are saying the same about Epstein now. Did he exist? Who knows? Who knows? The client list definitely did not exist, right? Right. That client list, no client list. It didn't exist. Professor Mifsud? What Professor Mifsud? Oh boy, so things didn't get better for Trump as the day went along. The US president had a complete meltdown when asked about Project Ukraine. Is that a rock climbing wall? That is a rock climbing wall. Let's go check it out. That's kind of random. That is very random. Like a skateboard park, skateboard ramp. All right, let's go see what's going on over there. On this very hot July afternoon. So Trump was asked about Project Ukraine, and he lost it, man. I mean, he lost it. There's no other way to explain it. He completely lost his cool. He's frustrated. He's frustrated at the fact that he made the bonehead decision to trust Keith Kellogg in the 30-day ceasefire plan. It's all on you, Trump. You had to go with Kellogg, didn't you? Should have listened to the Duran. But he's speaking to the media, right? And he just starts cursing. Yeah. He starts cursing, and he starts putting all the blame on who else but Putin, right? And he's projecting. There was a whole lot of projecting in his tirade. So Trump said, let's get out of here and I'll read you what Trump said. All right, so what did Trump say? He said, we got a lot of bullshit thrown at us by Putin. You want to know the truth? He's very nice all the time, but it turns out to be meaningless. Yeah, that's a lot of projection going on, man. Are you really talking about Putin, who's throwing around a lot of BS? Oh my God. And then he hinted at some sort of big surprise to really stick it to Putin and Russia, right? He's going to come up with a big surprise. He didn't want to tell the media what that surprise is, but everyone is saying it's going to be Lindsey Graham's bone-crushing 500% secondary sanctions. That's going to be surprise number one. And according to the Wall Street Journal, surprise number two is going to be one Patriot system. one Patriot system. And Trump is still looking around for a full Patriot system. He's contacting Hegseth. He's speaking to the Pentagon, speaking with U.S. vassals, and he's trying to figure out how can we get one full Patriot system to Ukraine. Sad, man. They're searching under the sofa cushions for a Patriot. That's what they're doing. Let's just find one Patriot. Come on. Can we find one Patriot to give to Zelenskyy and 10 interceptors? 10 interceptors. That's going to last. The 10 interceptors are going to last for how long, everybody? Come on, military experts, chime in the comments down below. How long are 10 interceptors going to last? He's making it worse. He's making it worse. He's highlighting the fact that the U.S. has been demilitarized. And the Wall Street Journal is running stories saying that Trump is asking around the U.S. government. He's asking around U.S. vassals. He's asking all of them, where can we get one? One Patriot is all I need. One. Come on. Can we come up with one? Hey, MBS, you got a Patriot? Mertz is like, I don't have anything left to give. All of Europe's like, bro, we've been completely demilitarized. We thought you were the hegemon, Trump. Peace through strength, you know? We don't have hypersonic missiles, Trump said. He said we have super hypersonic, and the hypersonic missiles that Russia has, Putin stole it from Obama. Remember that interview? Oh my God. The Guardian put out an article with the title, U.S. only has 25% of all Patriot missile interceptors needed for Pentagon's military plan. Low stockpiles for the crucial Patriot missile interceptors led to Trump administration pausing transfers to Ukraine. And then the Guardian goes into detail about how the U.S. has no Patriot air defense systems, no interceptors, nothing. They're running very, very low. And then towards the bottom of this article, the Guardian actually reports that Trump had to explain things to Zelenskyy. Trump also told Ukrainian President Zelenskyy in a phone call that he was not responsible for the halt in weapons shipments and that he had directed a review of U.S. weapons stockpiles but didn't order the freeze, according to people briefed on the conversation. It wasn't me, Zelenskyy, that's responsible for the pause in weapons. Dude, don't be upset with me. Churchill #2, Abraham Lincoln #2, Green Goblin. Calm down, man. Calm down. Calm down, Volodymyr. Wasn't my fault. I'm asking around for patriots. I'm trying to find patriots. What do you want me to do? We don't have any more. Hey, Mr. Trump, you better get me patriots or else. Right, Podolyak? Yes, Mr. President. Sad, man. You just should have walked away. January 21st, walk away. Biden's war. Not my problem. See you later, Audi 5000. So simple. So simple. But no, I'm going to listen to Keith Kellogg. I'm going to listen to Lindsey Graham. Oh boy, when they put those 500% sanctions. Oh man. Trump did say that those sanctions that he's going to approve, he did emphasize that they're optional. They're optional. He has the power to implement those sanctions, and he can also decide not to place those sanctions. So he did say that. So he emphasized that these are going to be optional sanctions, like he's trying to scare Russia or trying to gain some leverage on Putin. You better accept the freeze plan, or else I'm going to implement bone-crushing Lindsey Graham's plan. A bone-crushing embargo on China and India. If you don't accept the Kellogg ceasefire, I'm going to place an embargo on China and India. That's the plan, everybody. That's the brilliance of Lindsey Graham. Oh, man. And things got worse as the day went along. CNN, they decided to publish an audio, and this audio is from an upcoming book, or a book that's already been published or is about to be published. Anyway, it's some book, which I believe the title is 2024, and the authors of this book, they got a hold of all kinds of audio of the Trump campaign in 2024, giving speeches, speaking to donors, and they provided one of these audio files to CNN, and well, let me just read you the CNN title. Trump said he threatened to bomb Moscow if Putin attacked Ukraine. 2024 fundraiser tape shows. Donald Trump told a private gathering of donors last year that he once sought to deter Russian President Putin from attacking Ukraine by threatening to bomb the S out of Moscow in retaliation, according to audio provided to CNN. Quote, with Putin, I said, if you go into Ukraine, I'm going to bomb the S out of Moscow. I'm telling you, I have no choice, Trump said during one 2024 fundraiser, according to the audio. And then Putin goes like, I don't believe you, but he believed me 10%. This was Trump talking to campaign donors. So he's talking to them and he's trying to impress them and trying to raise money. And he's telling them that when he spoke to Putin, he told Putin, if you go into Ukraine, I'm going to bomb the S out of Moscow. And then Putin said, I don't believe you. And then Trump said, he believed me about 10% of the way. He believed me. And they released the audio. And doesn't seem to be AI or anything like that. It seems to be legit. Maybe it's fake. I don't know. But I haven't seen any community notes. The White House has not commented on this. The White House did not come out right away and say this is fake news from CNN. Actually, they had no comment when CNN contacted them. CNN reached out to the White House for comment, and the White House said no comment, which is basically the White House saying that these audios are legit. And it gets even worse. It gets even worse because Trump was speaking to campaign donors at fundraising events, and he said the same thing to Xi Jinping that he said to Putin. He made the same threat to China. Trump later claimed he relayed a similar warning to Chinese President Xi Jinping over a potential invasion of Taiwan, telling him that the US would bomb Beijing in response. He thought I was crazy, Trump said of Xi, before noting that we never had a problem. So look, this is what I think is going on. I don't think Trump ever said this to Putin. I don't think Trump ever said this to Xi. I think that Trump was trying to talk big and tough to donors and fundraisers so he can get money. He was trying to play up the peace through strength. I'm the tough guy. See how I stand up to Putin. See how I stand up to Xi. See how they're afraid of me. Peace through strength. Now give me money. Give me a couple million or a couple billion. And the donors fall for this type of stuff, right? They actually believe this stuff that Trump is actually having these types of conversations with Putin and Xi. I'll put money on it. He did not have this conversation with Putin or Xi. He did not say, I'm going to bomb this and I'm going to bomb that. And if you invade Taiwan or Ukraine, maybe he did. I give it a 5% chance, but I just think he's trying to impress everybody. So he's making crap up to impress people and to get their money. So speaking of Project Ukraine, it looks like the plan from Zelenskyy and Syrskyi is to invade Kursk again. This is what Syrskyi is saying. He had a meeting with Zelenskyy the other day, and Syrskyi said that they agreed that the way forward is for the Ukraine military to go into Kursk and Belgorod. On Tuesday, Syrskyi reported that he had attended a meeting chaired by Ukraine's Zelenskyy, during which the commander had emphasized the restoration of positions and holding territories in the Kursk and Belgorod regions of the Russian Federation. Syrskyi did not elaborate on how much objectives could be achieved. I wonder if Podolyak and Yermak have told Zelenskyy that the Ukraine military is no longer in Kursk. Something tells me that the Green Goblin may still believe that Ukraine holds parts of Kursk. I don't know. They say that they keep Zelenskyy isolated and shielded from any bad news because they don't want the little guy being depressed or being sad. We don't want you to be sad, little guy. So they don't break any bad news to him. So maybe they haven't told him what's happened in Kursk. Who knows? And he's thinking, we still have a foothold in Kursk. So Commander Syrskyi, expand that foothold. Oh yes, yes, President Zelenskyy. Hey, Podolyak, should we tell him? Should we tell him yet, or should we still keep this quiet? Just keep it quiet, Syrskyi. Just keep it quiet. Oh man, we're getting a lot of reports that the Russian military is now targeting recruitment offices in Ukraine, and they're hitting recruitment offices, which is public information. I imagine. I imagine the locations are well known, and now the Russian military is going after these recruitment offices, which is something they did not do in the past. So That's an interesting bit of news. And what else? Oh, Witkoff called off his trip to Qatar. He was supposed to be in Qatar to negotiate the Hamas ceasefire, right, that Trump is talking about. Very close to a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. That's what he's been saying for the past week. Very close to a ceasefire deal with Israel and Hamas. Very, very close. Netanyahu comes to town. He nominates Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize. Can't make this stuff up, man. Can't make this stuff up. And Witkoff was supposed to go to Qatar, and what do you know? Witkoff decides to cancel his trip to Qatar so that he could allegedly negotiate and close the deal for a ceasefire between Hamas and Israel. So that's another update. Let's do some more news and we'll get to a clown world. Little Napoleon is in the UK. Macron is meeting with Stammer. Macron has been given the royal treatment. They're giving the royal treatment to flip-flopper Little Napoleon and his wife. And Macron, he is telling the people of Britain that it is up to France and the UK to save Europe. That's right. Our two countries have a special responsibility for the security of the continent, the French president said in an address to both houses of parliament. And then Macron posted on X, "I'm arriving to the United Kingdom for a state visit followed by a Franco-British summit, an important moment for our two nations. The United Kingdom is a strategic partner, an ally, a friend. Our bond is long-standing, forged by history and strengthened by trust. The willingness expressed by the United Kingdom to strengthen ties with the European Union is a powerful signal, one that I welcome. It commits us collectively to explore new means of cooperation that respect our mutual interests." Basically, what Macron posted on X is a statement saying that Stammer is doing his job by moving the UK back into the European Union. You're doing a good job, Stammer, in reversing Brexit. You're doing exactly what the globalists put you in office to do, which is to reverse Brexit. So job well done. That's what Macron is saying in this statement. You're moving the UK closer into the European Union, and that makes us happy. You've wrecked the UK. You've completely wrecked the UK, but the globalists don't care about the UK. They care about the globalist EU project and getting the UK back under the European Union. There's a bunch of opponents of Macron who have self-deleted. It's a really strange story what's going on in France. Another opponent of Macron yesterday self-deleted. Found dead in France, Macron critic. The body of Olivier Mallier, a French conservative lawmaker, has been found at home in a suspected self-deletion. I think this is the third Macron opponent that has been found dead. Something is going on in little Napoleon land. What else? What else should we talk about? The EU observer is saying that Trump is working on regime change in Europe. Fact, not conspiracy theory. So there's this article in the EU observer, and they reference a think tank, or is it a think tank or a State Department report, which is saying that the Trump White House's main goal in the remaining three and a half years, what they're looking to do with Europe, the vassals that are Europe, is they would like them to be more aligned with the MAGA movement. And in order to do that, with America First, MAGA, and in order to do that, people like Ursula, they have to go. Ursula and Merz and all of these globalist neolibs, they're going to have to be removed in order to align Europe more towards, I think the report says, to make Europe more into what Orban has in Hungary. That's what the report says. I'll put it up on the screen so you can see what the report was saying. So Europe is freaking out. They're saying that Trump wants to regime change us. I don't know. I think they're all globalists. I don't know. Neolib, neocon, Trump, Europe, NATO. They're all globalists. So I don't know. Maybe this is a big globalist spat that's happening. The MAGA globalists versus the EU neolib globalists taking on the neocon globalists. I don't know. Anyway, let's do a clown world and we'll wrap this video up. Macron and Brigitte, looks like they're having more issues as Macron got off the plane in the UK. He went to take Brigitte's hand and she didn't want to hold Macron's hand, and it was pretty obvious. She was upset with Macron. And then they're walking into, I believe it's 10 Downing Street. They're walking towards 10 Downing Street, I guess to meet with 008. And you can see that Brigitte is visibly upset with little Napoleon. They're walking side by side. Macron is looking at her saying, "What did I do? What did I do?" And then she looks back at Macron and you can see that she said something to him. She's upset with him. Trouble in paradise between the lovebirds, Macron and Brigitte. Take it away, Candace. Let's have Candace break it all down. Oh man. So what else? What else? In Sweden, the prime minister, when he was going jogging, running, his security detail was posting his jogging, his running routes on an app called Strava, a popular fitness and running app, I guess. And every time he was going running, his security was posting his entire route. They were even disclosing where he was living, his home, his private residence, everything. When he was running with other world leaders, so when other world leaders would visit him in Sweden, or when he would travel to other countries, and they would go for a run together, they were they were posting the routes of where they were running. Man, not too bright of a security detail, huh? Mr. Christoforou. Yeah, so this was an interesting story. And finally, we'll do one more clown world and we'll wrap this video up. This one is bizarre. This is a bizarre one. Estonia. Estonia is threatening the European Union that they are going to block the 18th sanctions package unless the EU puts in the 18th sanctions package that they are going to lower the price of Russian oil. They're going to put the price cap at $45. If they don't put that in the 18th sanctions package and shrine it into that 18th sanctions package, that there's going to be a price cap of $45 for Russian oil, then Estonia's going to block the 18th sanctions package. Oh boy. They're making fools of themselves, man. Their obsession with Russia and with Putin is just, it's making them mad. It really is making them mad. It's destroying them. What's that phrase that Alexander always says? For whom the gods, something, they make them mad. Oh man, I forgot that phrase. You'll let me know in the comments down below. For whom the gods hate, they make them mad. I don't know. Oh man, it's a good one. But that's what's happening to the European Union. It's been a long day. And I'm going to wrap up the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. We're on Rumble. We're on Odyssey. We're on Telegram. We're on X. We're everywhere. Pick up Duran merch There's a link in the description box down below. And I will see you guys. Let's see what the exchange rate is. I will see you guys tomorrow. I will see everybody tomorrow. Take care.